Hello, everyone. So, Victoria Liljenquist is here to share her divine story with us, and just waiting for her to come on. Great, everything's working properly. And yeah, so Victoria's going to come right on in the split screen, so she shares her story. I see her. And adding. It'll be great when Facebook has an easier format to do lives and bring guests on, especially on the computer. This perhaps will be in the near future. Well, okay. Let's try this again. Oh, I see someone coming. There she is. Woo! Hey, beautiful sister.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, my tripod's not letting me do this the other way with you, so I'm just going to try to hold my phone.
No, or set it up on something. It's perfect. Yeah, it's fine this way. Yeah, we can figure out that it's. Yes.
Okay, how's that? Is that
Perfect.
okay. Great. Well, great to be with you, Rick. It's so nice. Thanks.
You as well. I hear a double echo in the background, but it doesn't matter. Just,
let's see. I'll
do a short introduction. Yeah. You may have your computer or another device opened up nearby if it's by your computer.
I don't use a computer, so but I don't think I have the speaker on, but is it still echoing? Is it still echoing?
On my end, when I speak, we can hear it echoing through yours. But this will be fine because you're going to be speaking. I'll just, what I will do is just a short introduction and then you share your story.
Oh, no. Okay. I did something wrong, though, here.
Yeah,
let's see.
Just switch your camera back around. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. This is crazy. Oh, dear. I'm going to have to call you back. I don't know how to do this. I'll call you right back. Call you back in a second. Yeah. Just a second, okay?
Yes. Okay, so Victoria will be back. You know, with this, and I know many would not are not familiar with how to do this, to bring another on when you're doing the live and to share with you. As I mentioned before, to my knowledge, it only can be done with the phones. When I do a live on the computer, so far I cannot bring anyone else on. So, having said that, we're getting through and learning, you know, how to do this. So any that are watching, you'll be able to perhaps get a little bit of information on how to do it if you don't already know as well. And yeah, Victoria has an important story to share with us, and it was by the direction of a father, if you will, 2 days ago, a father prime creator, that he had suggested to bring Victoria on to a live to share her story with all of you in this time. And I don't ask Father why, if you will. What I do is just, I better invite Victoria in there. Okay, there we go. So I don't ask questions of Father when he asks for I to do something. I just simply obey, and I know to do it because it is for divine reasons, if you will. Yeah. All right. So we were paused for a moment, but we should be ready to go. I'll double check here. Yeah, everything looks good. So we're just waiting for Victoria to come back here. So with this, again, with Victoria, it's important she shares her message with all of you, and that's what we're doing. So what I'm going to be doing is holding space, with this live and not saying much. I don't intend to, because it's important for Victoria to share her story with all of you. And having said that, I broke the screen on my phone. This is why you're seeing a lot of light reflections and refractions there. But it's all good. It's not about seeing us. It's about hearing the story, if you will. So go forward with this. Yeah, and thank you, Cinderella Sinclair. Yeah, Cinderella says, thank you for bringing Victoria forth. She does have an important message of love. Yes, indeed, love and God and all of this. Yeah. Okay, I see Victoria's trying to come on here, so let's see what occurs. Yeah, and Victoria has a beautiful divine story. I know of it and have heard it in the past, and very importantly divine indeed. Okay. Ask Victoria. Yes. Ah, okay. Just said Victoria was unable to join again because of technical difficulties. However, she will keep trying it and she will come on. Let me see with these settings. So, there she is. Let me touch this. Accept. There we go. Add. Okay, I believe
Are we good?
Just poof, and there you are. Magic.
Oh, hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So we still have the double area, but I will stop and get an introduction, more or less, just a short one. And please share your story and begin, if you will, your beautiful divine interaction with God, with Jesus, with the ships, and perhaps begin that powerful childhood, if you will.
Well, thank you so much, Rick. And just so you know, I don't see myself. I see kind of a weird screen over the top, so that I'm just looking at you, which is who I want to look at.
That is fine, yeah.
Okay, my love. Well, thank you so much, Rick, for listening to Father, and it's an honor to be with you and our tribe around the world today. And we are in such a glorious dispensation of time. We've waited through the eons to get here. Of course, we came from the future, back to this timeline to fix things.
Yep.
And I've been fortunate enough to, my story actually began in 1947. And if you want me to just talk away, I can just talk away.
Yes, please. That's what we love.
Okay. Okay. Well, in 1947, my father was coming back through the Reno Desert, past Pyramid Lake, outside Reno, and in the middle of the night, it was February 12th at 2 a.m. in 1947, and he came upon a man standing in the dark. And my dad was notorious for picking up hitchhikers. So he stopped and picked this man up at 2 in the morning, which was quite strange. And he got in the car, but he was strangely dressed. He was in biblical clothes, and they started to chat. And the man proceeded to explain to my father all about the universe and what was coming for the planet, the divine plan, if you will. And then he told him all about my father's life. And then he told him all about me. And I wasn't born yet. And my father was single, and he'd been told he couldn't father children. So he was kind of smiling at this man, saying, well, that's real interesting because I'm not supposed to have kids. And at that moment, the man put his hand on my father and blessed him. And then he said, I get out here. And he stepped out of the car in the middle of the night and dematerialized in front of my dad's eyes. Well, then we roll the clock forward, and in 1955, I was born, and I did have a brother that was born a few years before me, so my parents, were able to have him and have me. But when I was born, in the photographs, my 6-month photograph, there was these lights around my head like a big halo, and my parents knew that I was the child, and at this time, my father did not know that it was Ezekiel. He always said he thought he was part of the last 10 tribes or one of the 3 Nephites or something like that. Well, as I turned 5 years old, I was sitting in my bedroom, and I had a visitation from the same man, and it is Ezekiel, Prophet Ezekiel from the Bible. And I was sitting there with my crystals, having a conversation with myself, talking about how we're oblivious to all the life forms, and that's when he came and he said, Victoria, you have this mission. You must go among the people and teach love and forgiveness, and you are here to initiate the great and glorious plan for humanity. And then after he left, my father, I was in the kitchen and I went in there and I said, Dad, what does the word initiate mean? And he said, oh, he paid you a visit. Ah, very good. Then I started, I was having lots of experiences with Yeshua and visions, and I'd tell my parents, who was going to show up on the doorstep the next day from another state. I just was operating at 100% telepathy with my parents. And, they were really wonderful. I mean, they honored and loved me and just let me be. I was kind of, a little bit too big for my britches as a child, but they let me do that because they knew that I was special. And my older brother, he was the middle child, and he kind of was a little bit threatened by me, but it was okay. We grew up, and so I continued on through my teen years, and it's not easy, as everyone realizes and can relate to their own life, correlating that those of us that are different, that are tapped in, it's not easy to fit in. And sometimes we feel, I mean, it didn't affect my confidence, because I was talking about my mission since I was 5 to my little cousins. But
Wow.
I know that all of us have these times in our life when it wasn't that easy, but it's much easier now that we're finding each other, our tribe. I love Facebook because of my beloved following and family. So, interestingly, when I was 13 years old, Rick, I had a vision, and I saw a cigar-shaped craft, and it was flying over some Olympic rings. And I mean, that was 35 years after that. Salt Lake City was nominated for the Olympics. And I grew up in northern Utah. I'm not your typical Utah person. I'm a universal being. I always told my dad I'm a universal being. I'm not this religion or that religion. And so when the Olympics were nominated for Salt Lake City, I happened to just tell a friend, well, I'm going to go up there and sit on the mountain during the Olympics, because I know this cigar-shaped craft's going to fly over. Well, he leaked it to the press, and within, few days, I had like 60 interviews lined up, and TV stations lined up. Everybody was contacting me. I wasn't contacting anyone. And it occurred on the day, to the time.
Wow.
Well, between 1 and 5, kind of like cable, will be there between 1 and 5, but they came at 2:25. And I actually had bronchitis, so I was up on the mountain filming, and it's so interesting because I had one of those cool cameras. Everybody that does know me, I've been filming since 1994, and I had night vision on a camera, a Sony, way back. They discontinued that camera because you could see through clothing, and so they took that off. I had one though, and so I had my camera on night vision in the daytime, and there the cigar-shaped craft was. It was a cluster, and then it kind of split into different orbs, and I did, interviews, and they did articles in the newspaper, and even jokes about me in the newspaper. I put on an event in Salt Lake City during the Olympics. During the curling at the Olympics, I was in a movie theater putting on an event, giving my information. So it was really fun. So over the years, I've just been receiving this constant telecommunication. I mean, it's effortless. Sometimes I've felt a little bit guilty, because people say, well, how do you do what you do? And I go, I don't know. I just came in like this. I just, took it for granted, as counseling people as a child. The words just would come through me. And so that was really cool. And then years later, well, actually, it was before the Olympics. I was on the mountain in Sedona, hadn't moved there yet. I live there now. But the chariot of Ezekiel did come to me on Christmas Eve. and I was able to film his beautiful chariot. My friend was with me, and I was able to slow it down and do still shots, and you could actually see people moving inside this ship in ceremony. They were all dressed in white. They were doing ceremony, and I realized, and they transmitted to me, that that was us, and we're here. We're there, and we're here. And that's when I realized that we're bilocating constantly. And a lot of people, my mission is to help people understand what's happening to them, to help them embrace and evolve with the gifts that we all have. And that I did a movie, went to Hollywood, New York. I won awards. Encounters with Angels, UFOs, and Divine Messages. And it's now available to see on YouTube. I have 147 videos on my channel, so you can scan down and look at that. But at the very end of that movie, when you look at it, you'll see the freezes. You can see the people literally inside in ceremony. They're dressed in white. So that was in 2000, Christmas Eve, and then the Olympics was 2 years later. So it was kind of cool that that happened before the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a very beautiful journey. It's not always been easy. I know that all of us have, we each are an orchestra player in this grand symphony for the divine plan. And and for me, I'll just share that I engrossed myself into a full-time healing center. I had my own healing center, and I've had my hands on over 30,000 people.
Wow.
Since 1998. And I was living in Colorado until 2.5 years ago. But I don't have a healing center here in Sedona, but I do my healing now just with my telecommunications and with the Galactics and with all the masters and Yeshua and Mary. But the beautiful thing, and if you want to ask a question I don't want to just talk your legs off here, but Yeshua's been coming to me since I was a child, and in 1994, I was being studied by a scientist in Florida, and I knew I was supposed to go meet with the ships. And so I told him some coordinates, and he goes, well, you know, there's this one place. And I says, well, that sounds right. So when we got there, it was really magical, like being in a Walt Disney movie, because we had cobalt blue lights dancing all over the tree, and you could hold your hand out, and the blue light would dance on your hand. And I thought, well, Walt Disney knew what Tinkerbell, that whole Tinkerbell thing was real. And then I says, well, I'm going to go into the field. Would you like to come with me? And he said, well, I'll just wait for you. That's okay. And he wasn't afraid or anything. He didn't think I'd be gone that long. And I walked into the field, and this fog came between us, which this is a pretty typical thing when you have encounters, because the fog will come through. And I disappeared for 8 hours. And when they brought me back, I was walking back to his car, and a cigar-shaped craft was flying right next to me. and I had been meeting with the council and with Yeshua and Ashtar, and I mean, they dropped me off, and I had clear vision of the whole plan. And I walked up and knocked on the window, and I says, "Weren't you worried about me?" And he said, "Oh, they told me that, they'd bring you back." And so that's my life. I mean, I just started filming every night and then having visitations. I've had 2 near deaths, and Yeshua sent me back from the first one during surgery. And at that time, he did show me all the earth changes that are happening right now. Like, as anybody that has an experience in NDE, you might not remember every little thing, but when certain things occur, you go into an autopilot, and then it comes forward. And so much, like when I saw the Israel thing, I knew that was a sign of how close we were. I knew a year before the Ukraine-Russia war broke out, I was actually on my ship with my team, because they call me commander because I have a lot of benevolent races, fleets that report to me because they're on standby to intervene if it comes to them needing to do that. And so, but I was flying over. I was flying over Iceland, and then over Russia, and we were discussing the intervention when I was on the show. I mean, I have a lot of recall. I go nightly to assist the people that are being rescued and taken up to the New Jerusalem. And so, it's been a different kind of life for me, Rick. And especially now that I'm in Sedona, I'm not doing 100 people a month in my healing clinic. I'm just here, primarily in altered states, on the phone, helping people figure their life out, figure their questions or their galactic lineage. And Yeshua has come so many times, and he came to me on April 27th, 2014, one night when I was I'd had a bad dream of my stuck gas pedal that had happened that year, and I was reliving it, and I woke up, and then when I went back to my room, I stood in front of my window, and I had a vision. I saw the Garden of Gethsemane at nighttime, and I saw the tree and the rock, but I didn't see Jesus there. And my hands were clasped as I looked out at this vision. And then all of a sudden, there was a hand here and a hand here, and he was holding me from behind, and his face was just, 5 inches from my face. And I said, "Oh, have you come to take me this time, beloved Yeshua?" And he said, "It is not your time, it is humanity's time." So that was 2014, the 27th. The number 27 has appeared many times because Jesus and Mary came on the 27th of September in 2020, and they presented me with a 4-hour visitation, long, very clear. They were very loving, very adamant that the time would come when humanity would go into a deep sleep. Do not judge. Everyone will go, even the people you don't think might should be able to go. Do not judge. We're all going to do it. During that time, we are shown our journey, our choices, our lessons, and where we want to move on to. Do we want to move on to our new second earth, our parallel reality? Bless Gaia, I mean, whatever you want to call it. I go back and forth a lot to the parallel world, and Saint Peter comes to me and tells me, tell humanity you don't have to die to come to the gates of heaven. So anyway, this 4-hour visitation, I was teleporting through the entire vision, and I wasn't quite sure what that meant until the last year. And I realized that when we are in that deep sleep, that is when we will teleport to our next evolutionary station, whether people are wanting to go to their original planet or they want to go to New Gaia. And then the most beautiful thing is there was a song playing in my head that I didn't know the name of it, but a few days later a client brought it in to me. He had downloaded it for me and I played it, and I mean, it was a whole bunch of songs on there, but when this song came on that I heard during the vision, I just started to weep. I said, oh my gosh, that's the song that Jesus and Mary had playing in my head. And I think they had it repetitively playing to help me really remember the details of this vision. Sometimes they do that, just these little keys and clues. And so I researched and I found the song, and it's called The Promise. And it's on an album called Sleeping on the Edge of the World by David Helpling. Coincidental? No coincidence there at all. And so I've done I did a video on YouTube about the deep sleep and explained that. But Yeshua, I mean, he comes quite often when I lecture. People see him around me for years, Saint Germain and Yeshua and Mary. And but then a year ago, on the 25th of March, I was on the telephone with two dear sisters in Nebraska, and I said, oh, by the way, what time is it there? And before they could answer me, there was all this static, and there was an intervention, and Yeshua's voice came through the telephone. We all heard it. Where there were 3 or more, there I am also. He said, it is time. It is time. And that matched the vision I'd had in 2014. So I know, oh, also, let's share this, and it's in my movie, but I've been talking about my vision from Easter of 1997, when I was shown the arrival of our second Earth, and people were in a frenzy of confusion. And I said, please don't be afraid. This is beautiful. And it came and it merged briefly with us, collecting the pure in heart, those that are ready to move on. And then it separated and it moved on, and you could see the dolphins swimming in the firmament of the heavens. And I heard his voice say, Victoria, this is your new home. So that was 97 on Easter weekend. And then this last Easter, April 9th, the second Earth appeared at the Masters tournament in Augusta, Georgia, and millions of people saw it broadcasted. And so I've done short little videos about how, I saw the second Earth on Easter on the 31st in 1997, and then here it shows on April 9th, 2023. So I know that we are in the corridor. We're actually, I know a lot of us have already been actively, like 95% of our essence is already engaged into our new, world that you see so much. And there's only, I joke with people, I say, well, you have about 5 toes left in this dimension that's just tying up loose ends. But when we close our beautiful eyes with the sleep that everybody's needing and wanting, one of these days when we open our eyes, we won't be here. We will be there. So those are the highlights. I mean, there's so much to my life, but I'll share that with you and you can talk to me.
Beautiful. Victoria, what I wish, when you mentioned about the clock, when 3 of you were on the call, or 2 with your friend in Nebraska, and Jesus come in on the call, when you asked what time it was. So
I was asking the girls in Nebraska, I didn't know how many hours difference I was with them because I'm in Arizona. So I was just saying, hey, what time is it there? And before they had time to answer, he intercepted the call and said, it is time. It is time. They heard it. I heard it. And it's, I mean, I've known these gals for many, many years. We've never met, but they wanted to come and visit me in Colorado. But it was a very profound experience, and I just feel like when people ask me, I just say we just have to stay in the moment. We have to live moment to moment and do not overthink things. Work from your heart, not from your head. And the other key that I would say, don't be so attached to everything that you've engrossed yourself in this matrix, in this illusional world, because the more attached we are to those activities, those goals, dreams, wishes, I mean, it's fine, but sooner or later you have to just jump off the diving board and say, I surrender unto my divine intelligence, to the divine plan for humanity and for my eternal soul, and know, well, when I go to the parallel world, which is, I mean, often, and I'm teleporting every day too, but my brother passed going on 3 years on Easter, and for years I've been going to a house in this other dimension that I would tell people that's my brother's house, and this is where you sleep, and these are the pools, and I did not realize for all those years that was the new reality. And then over the last 2 years, I've ended up taking people, they didn't know that they went, but I took them in my experience, and I says, well, I want to show you my brother's place, and well, he's not living here now. And we went around the corner to where the pool was, and he stepped out of the pool. And I go, Okay, well, now he's living in the house that I've been talking about him living in forever. And so, my clarity of that beautiful, harmonious, instantaneous manifestation, physical well-being. I mean, so many people say to me, "Oh, Victoria, I don't want to go there crippled." And I go, I don't believe you will be crippled at all. You will be whole. You will be restored, just like my brother. He looked like he was about 35 and he passed at 77. So, you know, these are things that I know a lot of people can relate. I love my Facebook family because people say, yeah, you know, I've been seeing, you know, the second earth, or I've been seeing, you know, this, and even my dog, I'm walking my dog over there and I say, you know, our pets are waiting for us. It's all ready for us. It's ready. And so I kind of thought we'd be there by January 1st.
Many
But
of us have before now.
but I do, I mean, like, as I look at you, and then behind me I have my altar with all the masters here. They're all saying hi and we love you, and you know, NASA put an article in a magazine called The Twin. They called it The Twin Earth, and it was quite a few years ago, and I posted that on my Facebook page. That article just fell out of a file one day. I mean, I didn't even remember I had the article, but this twin earth is just, it's been waiting there for us for all these years. And I have twin sons that are waiting for me and my beloved, and I've chosen to just be married to my mission here. And I know that a lot of people, maybe I've had a full life. I mean, I don't have any complaints with with where my time and my devotion has been. But a lot of people maybe have, you know, longed to have a family, longed to have children. I know that a lot of children are waiting there, that, you know, women have gone through hysterical pregnancies, or the doctors would say that. But I went through a full-fledged earthly 9-month gestation, and the children were born in the other dimension. I thought they might be born here, but I see them often, and they work on the ship. They're 30 years old now. I mean, this happened 30 years ago. It's been a long haul for all of us. And I know people, they get, you know, they feel weary, they're tired. But, you know, when you know that your divine intelligence contains your cellular memory, we know the grand divine plan. We hold it here. So if your kids aren't cooperating, don't worry. They probably know more about the divine plan than you do, but they're just here, not awake. But at that appropriate time, when we close our eyes for this deep, deep slumber, all of that knowledge shall be autopilot. We will remember, we will know, we will understand, and we shall embrace our eternal destination. So,
Yeah, we exist for all time. What about the Merkaba ships, Victoria? You take a lot of beautiful pictures and had a lot of interaction with the Merkaba ships, and many see them and also have interactions with them. You wish to share a little bit of that?
Sure. When I started filming the Merkaba, or the Merkaba, Well, I started filming in 94, but in 2018 actually, on the 12th of December 2018, the amazing Will Within the Will, which is the one aspect of the larger picture that I have of Ezekiel's wheel, Ezekiel's chariot, and the wheel, and then more and more people now are able to film that wheel, that Merkabah, and I'm so excited and happy that they can get that. But I know that I'm on that ship that I'm filming. I'm there and I'm here. I'm orchestrating it from both places, and I learned that back in '94. And so they will transmit to me sometimes before they come, or as soon as I step out of my door or my hotel door or anything, they're right above me. They're right there. But these are the Merkabahs, the divine bright light that transports us back and forth between the worlds. And we all have our own Merkabah energy field, which that's another aspect to the ones that we're filming that are flying around. My Merkabah personal energy field started appearing in '94 in a diamond shape coming out of my head. And I mean, I had an amazing website with just tons and tons of photographs, but you know, problems with technology or whatever. I mean, a lot of it got lost. But if people go to, if they're curious, they want to see some things, they can go to the YouTube channel and see those things. But so we each have our own Merkabah energy field, which means we don't have to travel in a ship to go anywhere, because this is our vehicle. And I mean, I've filmed for years and years and years, and not so much for myself as much as it's been to help other people, because seeing is believing, and sometimes, people can't believe unless they can start having something to focus on. Now, for myself, I've always had clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient. I mean, I see them. I see that I even have motherships with all the blinking lights across the sky on my my YouTube channel, and they cloak themselves. But I was filming a spinning Merkabah, and then they told me in my ear, film above it, because that's where all the long motherships are. So I did that, and then I went backwards in millisecond, and then bam, at the right millisecond, there I got the mothership that is typically cloaked for most people. But when I walk outside, I don't even need a camera. I can see the motherships. I mean, they've changed my eyes. They change our eyes the more we do this. And I know people experiencing that. We're given our spiritual sight. So, but I'll tell you, one thing I want to share is that there's been nights that I've been in the other world at a huge area that was surrounded by cypress trees. I just love the cypress trees from Italy. but I was preparing the banquet for humanity because I know that we are going to have a wonderful, wonderful celebration.
Indeed.
And I appreciate so much all of the beautiful wisdom and clarity and truth that you've always shared. And we've known each other since 2019 on Facebook. That's when we first met. And I just I just totally honor and support and stand with you on all of the wonderful keys and tools that you share in your dedication to humanity. You've been serving a long time. I live very modestly here in Sedona. Believe me, it's pretty hard to live here at all. It's so expensive. Yeah. So I just live in a little mother-in-law apartment in my friend's house, but I'm only 5 blocks from the chapel of the Holy Cross Vortex, and then I can see all the vortexes of Bell Rock and Courthouse and Seven Sisters. All of the vortexes I can see from the street where I park my car. And so I know that this was the divine place for me to be able to continue to do to serve. And I think more people realize they're teleporting. But can I talk about teleportation for a minute?
Yeah, please.
A lot of people might not realize they're teleporting. I've been doing it for a long time, but one of the clues is you be sitting there, perhaps with your phone doing something, and all of a sudden it's like a wave just comes over you and you have to put the phone down and you're gone for, an hour or maybe 3 hours. And when you wake up, it's not like it's not like being asleep. It's just you've definitely been transported, because I know that they're bringing us back and forth so that we can meet in our orientation, because we're going to be assisting people that may not be as awake as we are. There's going to be a lot of healing and helping, of understanding the bigger plan, and the teleportation. Boy, I mean, I think more and more people are experiencing it, and I just say, just don't do when I'm driving my car, because it's really hard, because I used to drive a long distance, and I don't do that as much, but it's a beautiful thing. And another thing is, when you teleport, sometimes you'll get a little bit of discomfort in your hip socket, and Louise Hay talks about when the hip is acting up, it's a sign of feeling dislocated in this dimension, and we all feel quite dislocated in this dimension.
Totally concur at times.
Yeah. So, but anyway, you don't want me to talk forever. Just ask me some more questions.
Well, what I wish to share is, before we began this today, I had looked at the clock, and it was quarter after 6 our time, and I said I need to speak with Victoria before the show in about 15 minutes. But what occurred, I was rolling some organic tobacco cigarette, and I glanced at the clock, and it was almost 6:30. So I got up quickly to do something, to go outside, but when I looked at the clock, it was set back to quarter after 6. So I said, "Thank you, Father," and I said, "I'll go out and have a cigarette before I speak with Victoria." So yeah, we're not constant in time, and I love what you said about being transported when you're driving. At least Femke and I experienced that together here in Romania. We attempted to get to a certain place and twice rerouted like right out of there, and it's teleportation, if you will. But it was also, and it was interesting because it was divinely guided for us to go there. But we didn't get to that location, and twice I attempted to go, and we were circled back around and displaced. So it was not about actually going to the place. It was about having the experience to share how, some things are not constant, especially us in time. So
yeah, the missing time things. I lost several hours thinking I was gonna be home in an hour and a half from Payson, Arizona, and all of a sudden I was driving out in the middle of nowhere in a field, didn't know what road I was on, didn't recognize anything. I had to call 911 and say, my Google isn't working. I do not know where I am. And they said, oh, well, you're only 10 minutes from Winslow, where the crater is. And so, these wild, crazy things happen. And I had asked that I wanted some experiences when I was driving up to, I'm always having them, but I ended up driving for 5 hours that day instead of an hour and a half because I was that far off the beaten track.
mm-hmm.
So, and another thing that I noticed, and I know you can relate to this, I realized back in, 1996, they started teaching me about how we're beaming back and forth a lot, and if we put something down on the table and we come back and it's not there, and we walk around for an hour and a half pulling drawers out and everything, and then we come back and it's there, and it's because we're just doing this. See, I love it.
Exactly. Yeah, this also with when they speak about the gaslighting and blame. This is one of the things I say, perhaps they're not gaslighting. You are jumping in time and on different timelines. And that's a better explanation instead of blaming another, for attempting to gaslight, if you will. I was thinking about Femke and I, just to mention, sometimes when we have a 5-hour drive in the camper here, it would turn into 10 hours. But also when we had a 5-hour drive, I have noticed we've done it perhaps in about 3.5 hours as well. So the point that, I bring up again is we are not constant in time. And I know many can attest to this and identify with it as well. So thank you for elaborating on that as well. The divine plan, you mentioned what Yeshua, Jesus, mentioned to you and showed to you. Is there anything else in to the divine plan for humanity or for us that you would like to share?
Well, I will say to people when I'm talking about the parallel world that I go to that I know is New Gaia, and they say, but well, is it as beautiful as this earth? And I say it's magnified. It's all the things that we love here are duplicated there. That's part of the divine plan. It's been waiting for us all along. This has never been our real home. We thought it was, but now, our eyes the veil is lifting and we're seeing, and the divine plan it's unconditional love, it's non-judgment, it's universal peace, infinite peace, joy, wholeness. So many people don't feel whole right now. Either they don't feel whole emotionally, or they don't feel whole physically, but that wholeness is all in place for us. And so, and these are the things that have been shown to me all the way since I was 5 years old. Little by little, they gave me more details than that, but it's just, it just is. It's what makes your heart sing. It's the animals, it's the flowers, it's the music, it's the creativity. I mean, I've had many experiences, as I know a lot of people do, where I've been out in the middle of the ocean and there's been a big rock out in the middle of the ocean, and I swam over the rock, and there were all these people there. And I said, well, I just come to get my groceries. And I fill up my bag of groceries, and then I go, I don't know how I'm going to get these back because I can't swim with these bags of groceries. I mean, we are going through so many timelines, and I call it to a new we're getting ready for our new bowling lane, you know. And I really like Bashar, because he says what he describes about the different timelines. He says it's like switching the channel on your TV. You just, if you don't like that timeline, you just switch it to another one. And I think that now people are understanding that, because a lot of times they feel like they're outside their body and they're watching themselves go through the motion, but they're really not there. They don't even recognize who they are. One of my soul sisters, she wrote me just this morning. She says, I don't even know who I am anymore. And I go, yeah, well, you're already there. I mean, and the things that we've gone through, our memory's fading. We're forgetting things that aren't important. I mean, it's not Alzheimer's. It's like the words aren't there, the names, and it's not about getting Alzheimer's or dementia. It's just because the old is bleeding out and the new is bleeding in. And I've been saying for years and years, we are hoisting the earth up and we are anchoring heaven in, and they will meet. So, I don't know.
The consciousness being cleared out of the old memories to make room for the new and new creation. Absolutely. We don't wish to go forward memory imprints from this reality, or be, if you will, contaminating or recreating it in the new. Hence,
Exactly.
that the inner work process and the acknowledgement, in the least, that we are going somewhere else, that is different.
I liked what you shared last night. I watched your our presentation last night, that transmission, and I really appreciated the fact that you said, you're going along and your vibration, you're doing pretty good, and then you happen to, I don't know, engage in something that's going to pull you down and make you lose a little bit of ground. And I think that was really, how you explained that was beautiful, because, and that's why I encourage people, we've all had hard things happen, but if we choose to just not repeat them, speak of them, if you speak the fear, you give it power to create or recreate its reality in your journey. I mean, we have to just cut the cord and stay focused and visualize.
Absolutely. And, with different co-creators, depending upon their amount of prowess they have entered with yourself, you need to be so meticulous with your thought and speech, meaning that, if you didn't want a flat tire today, and let's say felt you were going to have one, but you said out to the universe, I don't want to have a flat tire. You're actually energizing that by putting thoughts on it. And this is where it becomes very delicate and very tricky for those ones. So in reality, for instance, what I would do, say nothing and just don't even think about the flat tire. Put the consciousness and the focus on something else so I don't energize. Because even by saying I don't want it, you're actually energizing it to an effect, to a degree.
Yeah, if you think the fear, you give it power to create its reality in your life over and over and over again. And, well, I don't want this and I don't want that. Well,
It's
we have to just
some of these things. Yes, you have to have the experience to be imprinted so that you're able to learn and to choose in at least the higher way, so that you don't have these looping, reoccurring negative things. We could say it simply here in a couple sentences, but of course we know it's been challenging, and takes years for ones in the past to do this. But the great thing now, we have so many beautiful teachers such as you and more that are arriving on the scene to give the simplicity to one, so they don't need to go through all of the trials and tribulation, if you will, because the keys are given to them and the instructions on how to do it. So they don't need to do a lot of the guesswork any longer. So, and this is beautiful because these teachers, what I witness, more and more are coming online as a result. We're creating this new reality as a result of that as well. So it's all very beautiful and divine. And of course, we know where we come from and where we're going, but as you said a bit ago, we wish to get there sooner. But then we also find that we need to calm down, surrender, be here, and because the reason we're not there yet is because we still have a divine purpose and a mission and a reason for being there. We know in our hearts, I do, the same as you, that we have the full ability and full capacity to leave here at any time, but we're just not allowed to leave yet because the overall divine plan regulates this. And we wish to say at our soul level, we committed ourselves divinely to this reality to change it, and that's what we're doing. And it takes all of us to do it. And that's what's so beautiful about it. Many will say, one, that they're waiting on Jesus or Christ to do it, but actually we are all the Christ to Mary Magdalene, brothers and sisters, children of God. It's all of us together in the unity that does it.
Well, the oneness, and one thing that I've said over the years to my people, because as a counselor, I was a clinical hypnotherapist as well, but I'd say to people, look at your life as a cat. You have 9 lives. And so just let go of the early lives that this final completion in this realm. We are eternal, and I know that we're very engaged already there. It's not like it's a new deal. We're doing it simultaneously, and we have other lives in other places simultaneous anyway. But like you say, we have to complete the process and the keys and overcome and
Yes.
learn to surf. Learn to surf, hang 10. Hang on to that board and stay positive, visualize, love, be kind, serve. Don't judge. And don't judge yourself either. I mean, you can look at yourself and want to be better, but judgment is not a word that we need to be thinking about. We need to just love. Are we losing something here?
Oh, keep going. I'm just moving this phone because there's a double echo and it might be coming from my end. Just give me a moment. Keep speaking.
Oh, okay. Well, these phones, I'll tell you, they keep wanting me to, they keep screwing around with my phone because they want me to buy a new one. And I'm not going to buy a new one because I don't plan on being around that long to wear out a new one. I don't know. I don't have you on. I don't have speaker on my phone, so I don't know. Apologize.
Everyone's hearing a double echo, and I as well when I speak. You are fine when I speak, and usually that occurs when you have another device close. But in my circumstance here, I just moved another device that I had in close proximity, but still it makes no difference. But it doesn't matter because it's about you speaking. Rick is not supposed to be speaking too much here. So, but having said that, the Father said about 2 days ago, or 3, that Victoria had to come on and tell her story on this live today. And I'm just curious, what reason do you think that Father Private Creator would suggest this at this very time and indicating the importance of it, the timing of it now? What's your thoughts on that?
My thought is we are so close to the blink of an eye, to the tip of our tongue, to
I believe
stepping through. I call it the leap. And I mean, all the transmissions I've been getting, Rick, I didn't think I'd be here. I didn't think any of us would be here January 1st. And I've talked to many other psychics as well as, I'm very psychic and I see the future and everything. But I can't see past January 31st.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why Father, because the thing is, all of the wonderful projects and things that we have as a oneness of a tribe, those things continue on. But we have to be able to slough off the matrix and the dark. And, it's not like the Brotherhood of Light are going to come in and clean all those people, we have to be committed and clear and visualized and know that it's time, so that we can just, it's like jumping off the high dive, but instead of going into the water, we're going up. You know? So I think that's what it is. I mean, I'm happy that he asked you to have me on, because we've wanted to do this for a while, but I do feel that we're really in a moment to moment right now. And I mean, I've been horizontal a lot. The last few months, I mean, 10 days will go by where I'm hanging onto walls and can hardly function, because, you know, all of these layers are lifting. And they told me in a transmission years ago, I used to sit down the typewriter and they'd talk in my ear. And on February 12th in 1994, I took transmission dictation, and they told me that the Earth would be tilting on its axis, which it is doing greatly right now, and that's coming up on the 12th. I mean, I just think, hey, just everybody be ready. Be the best you can be. Be the positive, happiest that you can be. And know that no one knows the exact time, but subconsciously we all know the exact time. But this is our treasure of truth back here, and it will reveal unto us at that appropriate time for the blink of the eye. And yeah, I just send you so much love, Rick, and you and Femke, and all that you're doing, and love your doggies and what you're doing over there. And I was thinking the other day, well, if we don't blink out of here, maybe I should go to Romania and hang out with you guys. We start a little caravan.
Yeah, that we'll see what our divine direction is for sure. One thing I wish,
we'll be a reunion somewhere.
one thing I wish to say, you've been feeling it's close, you've been giving divine direction that it is. This is our divine incentive to keep it alive, keep it in vision, because this is our lifeline there to it. Without this divine incentive, we would be going nowhere. So we need to keep it fresh, always alive. Know we are getting closer to it and going forward. It is the divine direction. Without it, everyone would be wandering around, chasing their tail without any direction. So it is very important. This is the reasoning why once anticipated we have it all done before now, because everything is divinely timed and everything is exact, and we do get it done on divine timing, which is regulated in part by what we do in the overall divine plan in conjunction with each other. But with this,
their time and what they consider, I try not to use the word soon anymore, because soon, I mean, I've felt like a broken record for a long time, and I know that we all have. But the thing is, so I just say moment to moment. We're just in the moment, and we're ready. We stand ready, and we rejoice. We rejoice knowing that we're rejoicing there and we're rejoicing here, and soon, we'll just do this together.
Perfect. It will be a complete joy and heaven bliss. Indeed.
Yes. Yes.
Well, is there anything else in closing would you like to say? Any message for the viewers or anything in that respect for you?
You know what I'd like to do is leave you with a blessing. And because this is what I do many blessings. I always bless people when I do a session with them, and I've been blessing people for 40 years. Everyone on my table was my child and is my child, and so I want to express my appreciation and my gratitude for you, for my beloved Yeshua, who's he's 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 always with me, for all of the souls that have been with me on this journey, for my parents, for Ezekiel. And so what I'd like to do right now is invite everyone to just go inside and close your eyes. I'm going to start with a tone. We call forth upon the powers of the universe and the Holy Spirit, upon our beloved Yeshua Jesus Christ, Blessed Saint Germain, Blessed Divine Mother Mary, Blessed Kuthumi, El Moria, Lord Maitreya, Lord Buddha, Babaji, and all the archangels and our galactic council of light, and most of all to our divine creator. At this time, we link our arms in a circle of light around our blessed earth, and we ask, as we lift our hearts and our minds and our visions higher and higher and higher to the divine eternal plan, our divine birthright, we anchor in through the pillar of light into each and every body and soul on this earth, the children, those in every group, every age, every level, every tone of their essence. We sing the sound of the celestial universe of divine joy and eternal life, eternal bliss and oneness. We bless each and every soul in whatever their challenges might be at this time, and we lift those layers off of them, and we say unto you, it is your responsibility to keep working to lift your layers away so that you can be clear and visioned to the divine plan. We are grateful and we love and support you, and all of the masters are holding each and every one of us, supporting us and saying, fear not, the time is now. The time is now. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We seal these things upon all of us in the light and the love and the truth of the universe and all that is. Amen.
And so it is.
So it is.
That was beautiful, Victoria. Thank you so much. And
You're welcome, Rick.
so much divine beauty while I had my eyes closed while you were divinely reciting this special message. So, with that, much gratitude, much love, and much light. And thank you for joining us. And have an amazing day.
I am honored. And if anyone needs to reach out to me, I'll give you my email. It's Victoria Liljenquist. That's LILJENQUIST @gmail.com. And I'm here to support, to bless, to celebrate. And I love you, beloved Brother Rick. Thank you so much.
I love you as well, Victoria. You are most welcome. Thank you. And your email, yeah, you can drop it in the comment later if you wish as well.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I will do that. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Bless everybody. Bye-bye.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Peace and love and happiness.